Jittamala to the stage, and she's going to present the clinical results from the trial.
Thank you so much, Kevin. I'm Podjanee from Mahidol. And actually, you have a look at the efficacy of ivermectin alone with muscular killing effects is quite promising. But when we are going to use it in the field with ACT or conventional MDA combinations, so we should have a look deeply into the safety profile of these medications. So my job is going to help my colleagues to see whether it is safe or not to use it in 1,000 or more than 100,000 of people in the field. So this study is set up in the Faculty of Tropical Medicines. We're working in hand in glove together with Morus and Afrum since the beginning. I'm not sure which one is going to be first. Okay. So you see the title of the study is exactly the same as Kevin because the sample for SMA also came from us. And the ivermectin was also 400 microgram per kilo. Sorry, I have to go back. It's just the wrong buttons. It's confusing. And that the HI piperaquine was provided by purchased from Sigma Toad. We used uridazine for 3 tablets. So that's why we have to specify the ranging of the body weight in this healthy volunteers in order to get 3 tablets. And primaquine was locally purchased in Thailand. It is produced by a government pharmaceutical organization. So we get 2 tablets. It is a single dose regimen, but it is 7 sequential regimens with a washout period in between, according to the longest half-life of the drug in each combination. So let's say like if the combination has piperaquine, so we need 8 weeks a break for the volunteers before starting the new regimen. And we enrolled 16 healthy subjects and admit them into the bioequivalent ward with a very high facility to test all the laboratories and adjust all the laboratories parameters in Faculty of Tropical Medicine. We monitor safety and we send all the samples for PK in order to see PK interactions, and also sent to Kevin for efficacies in terms of mosquito lethal effects. This is the candidated regimens that we want to use in MDA, and then we want to have a look at that safety data. So for clinical adverse event, every patient will be checked and having history and physical examinations at the beginning of each regimen, and all the clinical adverse event will be captured throughout the study by using the well-being checklist. Protocols, and also laboratory parameters will be checked at the beginning of each regimen as the baseline, and then check again at 24 hours before discharge. And any time that a clinical suspected, we have to do the laboratories testing again. It include full blood count, chemistry like liver function test, urine creatinine, and electrolyte. And non-invasive hemoglobin monitoring was also monitored throughout the admission period. The electrocardiograms was done at baseline and also again at hour 1, 2, 4, 8, 12, and 24. All adverse events and severity grading were captured by using the standard protocol. We used the ACE table from ACE division's revision in 2009, and the relatedness of the adverse events to study medications were also classified as not related, probable related, or possible related, or definitely related by the clinicians. So that's the study safety outcome. I don't know why it's here it's disappeared, but it's okay. I can still keep talking. So for demographic, roughly, we've got 7 male and 9 female. The mean age was 34, and the mean BMI was 22 kilogram per square meter. All in all, the adverse event happened throughout the study, which took like a year for 57 of the events. And you've seen here that we've have to go back, and this is that 55 events were AE, and 49 in 14 subjects who had at least one adverse event had only mild symptoms not related to study drugs. But I separate that out to this box. 6 even in 3 subjects experienced 3 mild and 3 moderate, possible and definite related adverse event related to the study drugs. All were transmitters enzyme increasing. And this is 2 AE on the right side. You see, this is just only one dengue hemorrhagic fever that has nothing to do with this combination, because it made the SAE because of the hospitalization. The SAE increasing severely in one subject to grade 4, which is interesting. I want to keep talking a bit more in this topic, in these issues. So this AE and SAE by SOC, system organ classes, and by regimens over here. You see that it was a long study, so many things happening, but almost all of them were not related to study medications or combinations, but just only hepatobiliary disorders, this highlighted, for 7 events were classified as related to study medications for these two arms. I will just talk about this group of people. If I focus on these 4 regimens with just only ivermectin, DHA piperaquine, to compare with IVM plus piperaquine and IVM piperaquine plus primaquine, we see that when they've got these regimens, there was no hint of increasing of the transminase enzyme or liver disorders at all. But when they came to this regimen, we start to see that there's 2 people here. One was the young guy start to get AST rising on hour 24, just a minimum to grade 1, and transient, very transient, disappear within 24 hours. And the other is young lady having mild form of both AST and ALT rising. But this highlight is a middle-aged lady with a bit higher BMI exposed to this regimen. She got trouble with AST up to 4 times of upper normal limit. So then we have to set it as a serious adverse event. And the ALT is about grade 3. And then we re-challenged her searches. Then she got, it's the same pattern of the trouble. She got grade 3 for both AST and ALT, but the total bilirubin were not increasing, and also alkali phosphatase were within normal limit. And so start to see this ivermectin plus piperaquine. That was the first combination that she experienced the problem. This is a function that the liver done with the production of heme or whatever. If there is any trouble with the liver or the excretion of the liver, it must be rising over the baseline. And this is transminase enzyme in terms of somebody here is not a clinician. If there is any hepatic injury or any necrosis, there will be a leakage of these enzymes out. But ALT is more specific for the liver because it's more in cytosol. But this one it's more both in cytosol and mitochondria, so it might be not very specific to liver. But anyway, we have a look at them all together. And ALP, it's more in terms of occupying lesions or cholestatic or obstruction of the bile. So when we have a look at this lady with this regimen, we saw that at the beginning, she was absolutely fine with all the parameters. And after we gave her the drug dosing, she abruptly increased, showing an increasing of transaminase enzyme without increasing of other parameters. And for next 24 hours, both AST and ALT coming down. And we could not contact her to come back, but she has no clinical signs, symptoms. But anyway, she came back on day 10, and everything came back fine already. And say here again that we use the D8 table as capturing the severity of adverse events. So this one has a little bit lower cutoff for the transaminase enzyme compared to NIH protocol. We won't have a SAE if we use the NIH protocol instead of this one. So this is the workup in order to find a possible alternative causes for this subject. She was a female with a non-alcoholic with a higher BMI indeed, and she took fexofenadine with a normal dose twice a day for 3 days, and paracetamol a couple of doses like a week before, but she stopped a week before these admissions. And she's normal flu blood count and eosinophil and platelets were also normal coagulogram and normal lipid profile, and anti-HIV and HBs antigen antibody and HBC antibody were also negative, and anti-NA were also negative. And we sent her for a hepatobiliary ultrasound, and it's revealed normal. So we're still pending for PK analysis, but in the meantime, we do re-challenge in this lady after we talk to the medical monitors, and we want more very, very important information from this one. And we discuss with her, and we get to re-consent with this lady to do a full admission re-challenge with DHA piperaquine. But in order to get the benefit with the study, so we put this regimen instead. So you see that she exhibit the same patterns, but a little bit slower than the DHA piperaquine alone. This is a line for upper normal limit. It's like about 40. And she expressed this one, and this one she got highest point at hour 33. So it might be, we try to explain it because now we have to conclude that it's really definitely related to that combinations that we are now candidated as the MDA recommendation. So we try to have a look at what is possibilities. So it might be the interactions of piperaquine, because it's a substrate of CYP3A4 as this one, but it's also inhibitors of CYP3. So it might be the interaction study. We are really keen to see a pharmacokinetics results. And somebody said that we might have a look at the transporter also, since ivermectin has a very good name about being a substrate of PGP, but I couldn't see any evidence of the piperaquine with inhibitors or inducer for PGP, but it's involved in in vitro study for OATP. And for electrocardiogram, we has no significantly different change of the corrected QTc fiducia compared between each regimen at hour 4 to hour 0, and the changes were very far below the FDA threshold, and no single subject has a QT interval higher than 500 milliseconds. So it will be a very short conclusion because we wanted to open the floor to discuss about that. We got one transmitters rising to grade 3 and 4 in 1 out of 16 subjects in both combinations, and otherwise good tolerability, no sign of a cardiotoxicity. I think I would like to talk a little bit about, we are going to wait for pharmacokinetics data. People ask, why do I have to speak out side effect today? It's a little too early because we don't have a PK results yet. But at least we have a look at that. If the time from here to MDA is still a year to go, so if there is any protocol or anything that would like to study about this combination, it would be great that we should harmonize the protocol to have a look at these issues altogether. And we should work on this subject to find out whether she has her personal problem with any polymorphisms or any transporter stuff. And also on other field study we mentioned with Dr. Mano that he has a very good storage samples of the people who exposed to these regimens in study in Kenya, that we probably have a look at this also. And before MDA, people would have known that there are so many things we don't know about these drugs, and we should have harmonized the protocol before going on, and then we can pull all the data together in terms of safety. And during the MDA implementations, maybe we have to also sit and talk that we need to maybe sample the populations out 1 or 20% to see whether they have a problem or not. Thank you.